Put a bite in there, but I guess we didn't
but
have
it's
the
me
bite.
instead.
Monica Crowley joins us right now. Hey, Monica,
Hi.
as we've pointed out millions of times, and you have, if the first $850 billion didn't work, why try another 447?
Yeah, and you know, it wasn't just the initial stimulus, which was nearly $1 trillion, but we've had a couple $100 billion here, a couple $100 billion there, omnibus spending bills. It has amounted to well over, or at least close to $2 trillion in government injections of capital into this economy. And for what? They promised us with the initial stimulus, Eric, that it would hold unemployment to at or below 8%. After they passed that, it subsequently sailed over 10%. It's now settled in between the 9 and 10% range.
Monty, listen to the soundbite we were trying to get up there. We have it right now. Listen to Rahm Emanuel weigh in.
Have them rebuild our schools. Have them rebuild our roads, because we have a 21st century economy sitting on a 20th century infrastructure. And that should be the reinvention engine, like NASA was, like the internet was at different moments in time. And we will be a stronger, more productive economy.
A Democrat never met a spending initiative he couldn't embrace.
Right, and with this generation of Democrats, Eric, it's more like spend and then tax in order to pay for it, and that's what you're seeing now. You're seeing multiple proposals over the last 3 years of Keynesian economics, right? What they call temporary spending to try to stimulate the economy, but it's never temporary. What they have done here in this administration is elevate the spending baselines to a record 25% of GDP. You know what that means? That means that with this and with all the other spending proposals and Obama's budget that he lays out every year, they're trying to lock in those elevated baseline spending. That's what this is about, too. They have had their chance. They have had their attempt at temporary injections of government spending to try to stimulate the economy. Every time it's been attempted, not just in this administration, but throughout American history, every time it's been tried, it's like a sugar rush, right? So you get sort of an instant kind of hit, and then you get the crash. We have not seen any kind of sustained economic growth or job creation out of the massive government spending that we've seen. And in fact, what we've gotten is over $4 trillion in national debt added to the debt.
Do you think these Wall Street protesters all around the country, in L.A., in Philadelphia, in Atlanta, in Boston, we just heard from Malia in Boston, do you think they understand that?
No, well, look, I think that a lot of this is all part of the global socialist movement. You see a lot of the groups that are behind this, created this movement, orchestrated it, now directing it. Workers' Party, Democrat Socialists
Unions.
of America, of course, the AFL-CIO, SEIU, and the rest. So what you're seeing is a bunch of useful idiots in the streets of Manhattan, Chicago, Boston, elsewhere in America, and around Western Europe and the rest of the world. Useful idiots who probably haven't paid much in taxes their whole life, have no concept, and all they know is, oh, profit is a four-letter word. Corporations and rich folks, millionaires and billionaires are evil. They need to be taxed more as if they don't pay enough. The word is coming from the White House. I don't necessarily fault these kids, you know, and these aging hippies who are out in the streets, Eric. I fault the president because this is the logical extension of his rhetoric and his policies.
Glad you brought that up. Producers, if you can pull up Herman Cain's, listen to what Herman Cain had to say about Occupy Wall Street, where their anger should be directed. We're going to work on pulling that up in just a second. But Herman Cain said, direct it at the White House. Don't direct it at Wall Street. It's not Wall Street's fault. It's not the bank's fault down near Wall Street. It's White House policy.
You can try to educate these kids as to the reality of what caused the financial crisis, but it's going to fall on deaf ears because this is purely ideological kind of movement, again, sponsored by the unions and other socialist groups.
The shot's ready to go. Take a listen to Herman Cain.
Wall Street didn't write these failed economic policies. The White House did. Why don't you move the demonstration to the White House? That's why you don't have a job. That's why you don't have a business. Move it to the White House.
Yeah, well, he's absolutely right. Look, if they had any fundamental understanding of what caused the financial crisis, they would be protesting the Democrat Party. Why? You go all the way back to the Community Reinvestment Act under Jimmy Carter, expanded under Bill and Hillary Clinton. They put the guns to the banks' heads and said, you got to do these subprime loans and so on. That's what caused this mess.
Protest
them.
Thank you very much.